What's going on, family? Welcome back to the Speakeasy. Listen, I got a special guest, but he ain't here for the first time. We're gonna have part two of our discussion. I had to bring my brother back, man. You might see Deshaun here a lot.
Yeah.
My brother from another mother is here.
Yes, sir.
And man, we're in February. We're in Love Month. It's Black History Month, but we're also in Love Month.
Right.
But we're black all the time. We celebrate blackness all the time. One thing that we really need to talk about though is relationships. All right, bro. Listen, when I first started the Speakeasy, I was kind of like not really interested in ever talking about relationships, just because it's just such a touchy subject. I told Marseille, what up, Marseille? I told Marseille that like, and the guy's like, I don't really want to talk about relationships just because there's just so much content on it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, although I feel like I can't have something to add to the conversation, I was like, you know what? I just want to talk about the interpersonal relationships with people and making sure that people get their flowers and people's stories are heard, and the people that helped them to get where they were celebrated.
Right.
And so that's what the Speakeasy is. But to be honest, I end up in a podcast with my wife.
Yeah.
And to everybody who's been here, if you're new here, I'm married, happily married, with a 2-year-old who just turned 2 yesterday.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, my boy. And I had her on here, and it kind of broke the ice on talking around relationships.
Yeah.
And I, realized, the importance of talking through that journey, and how really important it is. Like, having a wife is what, if we're going to talk about the celebrating the people that helped you get to where you want to go, or where you've been, or where you are. You got to talk about the most important relationship you're ever going to choose, and that's your significant other.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, let's start the conversation, my brother, around how you learn. Let's talk about how you learned about relationships, right? How'd you hear about the birds and the bees?
Yeah.
The flowers and the trees. Like, how'd you hear about the birds and the bees? How'd you hear about, like, what was your first encounter with dealing with women? Or maybe it was girls at the time when you found out. Like, what was that first experience like for you?
Well, I'll start by saying I'm the youngest of 3 boys. Right.
Okay,
so I had older brothers.
I know where this is going already.
I had older cousins.
Yeah.
And when they were, around that age where you start discovering about, like, girls and how society say, a certain part of society say young boys and girls should interact. So my brothers was at that age and I was a little younger. So my first encounter with it was like, the more the better. You know what I mean? It was like, be the man, get all that you can. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Like, you gotta, do X, Y, touch the butt, see how it is. They gotta be cute. Like, that was my first encounter.
And like young too.
Very young.
Yeah.
Elementary young.
Yeah.
Elementary young. So,
and it's crazy, as grown people, we look at elementary kids now and it's like, y'all doing what?
We
were just as nasty.
Oh, 100%.
Right,
but I think, it's kind of broadcasted and kind of showed to the world a little differently because they got social media, everything like that. But yeah, so my first encounter was through the lens of my older brothers, my older cousins. And it was like I said, it was the more the better. If you want to be the man, you got to have the baddest, the fattest. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean when I say the fattest.
And what is fat that young? But anyway, we're moving on. This is ridiculous. But no, it's fat to you. At 5th grade, it's like, oh, wow.
Wait a minute. She got a little.
This is insane.
Got a
anyway,
Georgia
moving on.
Peach back
This is
there.
actually getting gross. Yeah. Let's move on.
But so it was the baddest, the fattest, and like you got to do certain things. You got to touch the butt. Is the butt soft? Is it fat? Is it whatever? And from a very young age, I'll probably say like grade levels and ages where my mind shouldn't even been there.
Yeah.
It was there because I saw my brothers was at that age and that's what they was doing. So it was like, oh, bet, like let's get it popping now. Yeah. And so yeah, I was real young, bro. I was elementary school for sure.
What was your like kind of first encounter directly with a woman or a girl?
Yeah.
What was that like? We're leaving names out of all of this podcast, by the way.
Okay.
Viewers.
Cool. It was a young lady.
Don't do a slip up. Dae,
Yeah.
please.
No, listen, I'm glad you said it because I was for the name drop.
No.
Lord have mercy. But no, I was at E.K. Poe Elementary School, and I remember we had like this huge like fake playhouse type of deal. And I remember me and this particular young lady, we liked each other, and we used to always kind of go missing during a certain part of recess, right? And we were probably like 3rd or 4th grade, bro, and we were in a little fake playhouse, and I remember I was like, would you trip if I kissed you? And I probably said it differently, but I said, would you trip if I kissed you? And she was like, no, let's do it. So I kissed her.
That's the way you used to ask. It's like, what would you say if I wanted to kiss you right now? Like you just like, because if you would have said like, no, I don't want to. It's like I wasn't really asking to kiss you. I was wondering what you would say. Like, don't get carried away. But anyway.
Yeah. So and she was with it. You know what I mean? So we kissed, and that was a thing for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And then I just remember like, I used to it used to be little parts in school where I might touch her butt. She might let me touch her butt. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. She might be smiling at me or whatever the case may be. And then I remember one day in particular, it got a little crazy. Far. Well, ain't nothing really happened. It was the question that I asked. Yeah. And I can't like remember or pinpoint like what happened at home that I saw or like what it was that kind of was like, oh, I know about this from somewhere. Yeah. But I remember I came to school. I was like, and I'm elementary school. I said, I was like, kind of similar how I formed it. Would you be okay if I kissed you? Question. I said, how would you feel if I put my thing in your hole? Look, don't even know what that means. But I said it.
Hey,
look,
don't know where to locate it.
Don't know where to locate it. Don't know what's gonna happen if it go in there. Don't know nothing. But I said it, and she was like ew, like what is that? And I just remember I'm like, shoot, I don't know. I just kind of like, I'm like, yeah. But yeah, and it was just like that was like my first encounter, and now like we talking about it, it's funny to think about like, it went from what you saw older brother, older cousins doing, and then you had your first kiss, and then you kind of go straight into like, oh, like, let me put my thing in your hole, like, you know what I'm saying? But that was my first experience, man. I was like I said, 3rd or 4th grade. I was off the porch early, bro.
And I resonate really well with. I had an older brother, right? And like, let me preface this conversation. Everybody's young here, right? Like,
100%.
Our older brothers were young. Yeah. They were, they had hormones. They were doing what they were doing. We were all inner city kids, like just figuring it out.
Yeah.
And so, like, no shade to Big Bro or anything like that, but like, there was a level of exposure to like sex and sexuality when you were really young. When I was a kid, and I was hesitating whether or not I want to talk about this, but it was just like, hey, but babe, you know what I'm saying? I love you, and this is my when I was a kid and stuff, Anyway, so when I was younger, like we were exposed to all that from my older brother, etc. I had a stepbrother too, and like all. So we would be out with all friends, and like I had a girlfriend here and there, and like so we was like, I would kiss my girlfriends and stuff like that. But yeah, like for as long as I remember, like I knew about sex, and like as a young boy, like I knew all about it. Yeah, I remember my first encounter. I actually, this is gonna sound really terrible, but like I lost my virginity really young.
Yeah, bro.
I lost my virginity at 12.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. I lost my virginity at 12 years old, but it was the most awkward situation. Like this is actually kind of gross, but let's talk about it, right? Yeah. And so my sister had a friend who was a little older than me, and we weren't even together for real, right? Like I don't even know how this all like what went into this. I knew like I had like girlfriends in the past, and I touched the butts and the kissing and all that. Like when I was young, like that was the case, but it never really got that far, like you said.
Right.
And then one day, like she would sleep over sometimes, and we were in the bed. I went to my sister's room when she's in there, and she suggests that we go, like try having sex.
All right.
And I was like, right, like it's gay if I say no, like you know what I'm saying?
Bro,
like, I ain't about to,
boy.
Hey. And to be honest, I was a little uncomfortable with it, but also like I'm not about to say no to this.
Yeah.
Bro.
Like the boys will laugh at me if I say no.
Absolutely. My brother's in the other room. He gonna get wind of this in the morning. He gotta know that tonight it went down and I did what I had to do. All right?
Little bro holding it down.
You know what I'm saying? Like I need to go in there and dap him up and say what had just happened. Like I need to tell him the story after this. Right? And so so anyway, we're trying. I'm trying to locate where I'm trying to figure out where things go. I'm going to the wrong place. She's like, that's the wrong place. You need to go. It was crazy. And I'm 12 and like trying to figure this out. And then it happens and I'm done. And I'm like, okay. Like I'm just like, and I started watching TV in the same room. And it's sitting there. And it's just kind of like a little awkward, but I'm just like, okay. And so then I go to my room, and did the girl ask to go again?
Oh, wait.
I'm like,
nah,
I'm tired. You scary. You scary. I was like, I'm scary. I'm like, you saying that in front of my brother. You gotta chill.
I said, no, I'm 12 is what I am.
I'm 12, like, you feel me? Like,
yeah.
Anyway, I was just like, nah, like, but I try to spin it like she pressed. Like, yo, calm down. Like, I know it was good.
Yeah.
But not knowing anything that I was doing. But that was my first time.
Yeah.
And then, like, it just kind of, from there, sex just became like
Yeah, bro.
a thing. And so, I kind of slowed down because then when I got a little older, I started getting even more involved in church. And so I was trying to calm down and, some things happened here and there, but it sounds kind of traumatic almost a little bit.
Yeah.
I think people would probably call it trauma. We call it growing up.
Yeah, hey, no, facts. Facts, bro. And it's interesting you say that. Like, I literally lost my virginity at the age of 12 as well, bro. Yeah, bro. It was 2010. I remember. Can't name drop, but I remember the whole situation.
No, let's not do that.
Yeah, but I remember the whole situation. It was kind of similar to yours. Like, it was, I was 12, you middle school, 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And young lady, she had older brothers and sisters as well. And maybe that's why she was, at that point of like, yo, like let's take it there, because I had older brothers, she had older brothers, and clearly we both was exposed to it. So yeah, I was 7th grade, lost my virginity at school.
At
school. At school. And in the auditorium. Yeah.
Lots of space.
Yeah. We was behind the curtains. I remember the whole situation, but I was 12 years old. And
so you like literally put on a show.
I don't think it wasn't. Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing, so it wasn't a show at all. I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I remember like I like left out the auditorium after that, and I was just like, I kind of similar to you. I was like, okay, that just happened. And then when I like kind of got back around my boy, I was like, yo, hey boy, you know what I mean? Like, hey, now your boy done had the, you know what I'm saying? So, and then it kind of got like, like they promoted it, and they was patting me on the back. So I was just, I bet, cool. Like, that's what it is. Like, maybe I'll do it again. You know what I'm saying? So
and did.
Yeah, and did. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's just crazy. We having this conversation, and
I had no idea. I had no idea that
12 years old, bro.
12 years old. That's insane. It's really young.
Yeah.
Like in retrospect, it's like, yo, that's really young.
Facts.
And then you don't feel that young then.
Yeah.
But God, you're a child.
Yeah.
And thinking about it, like, we grew up obviously both inner city Boston, inner city Durham.
Facts.
And like, it sounds crazy, but middle school now we experience girls getting pregnant.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like
Yeah.
dudes having babies in middle school, like. You know, we say girls getting pregnant because they were the ones that was showing the pregnancy. They were walking around with a pregnant belly in middle school. I mean, and the father could be right next to her, but we're looking at the girl like, what? Are you pregnant?
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother issue too. Like, we kind of down on the girls like, you pregnant in middle school, but it's just like, yeah, bro, but like,
who's impregnating them?
Yeah, you know what I'm
who is
saying?
it? Yeah.
he in middle school too, and he might have been in high school, but I mean, you're not gonna even talk about that. That's actually sick.
But no, and I think it's the whole like societal norm of like young boys, and I'm gonna say some of society. I'm not saying that everybody pushes this whole agenda, but from a young boy perspective, especially in inner cities, it's like, yo, like the sooner the better, the more the better, all this stuff, and then it's like, it's praised when it's the man, but when it's the woman, it's kind of like, it's frowned upon a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, to your point, it's funny that we used to kind of point the finger and talk about the woman, but never the man.
Yeah, it's just like we got popular while they were outcasted and called hoes and.
Ooh, yeah.
Thoughts weren't my time. Thoughts
wasn't in my time.
It wasn't your time. Yeah. So yeah,
these
but
youngins now.
Yeah, these youngins now. Yeah, bro. And so all that to say, I think growing up, dating just kind of always felt like not necessarily dating, but like these women that were supposed to be around and I enjoyed interactions with, but it just seemed like a place to kind of get your rocks off.
Facts.
And it was never like this really mature place of discovering and learning yourself and learning the person and getting and preparing for marriage. That didn't come. Mm-mm. That didn't even make sense till I was like an adult.
I didn't even know what it was at all.
Because we probably didn't grow up seeing really healthy marriages. And so us kind of being young and having all these really raunchy experiences as a child, and now we're supposed to grow up and be men ready to be husbands and fathers.
It's impossible.
No, we were looking at middle school fathers and young mothers, and like we were just looking at mess and dysfunction.
Yeah.
And then we're supposed to grow up and understand what we're supposed to learn in relationships. And I just think that's where a lot of our misguided thoughts come from, and how we look at relationships and women and all that. It's just all from a lens of dysfunction. And I just think we have to get out of that.
Yeah.
And and we're all coming from our own individual traumas, right? Yeah. She's getting the boy who lost her virginity at 12. She might have lost her virginity young or saw all that and so how has your journey been discovering the kind of woman? I know I'm married, you're single as in not married. Mm-hmm. How has been your journey discovering the kind of person you want to be with long term in like a marriage and like a to build a family with?
Yeah. I mean, I think the first step was kind of identifying who I am as a man and as a person. And I don't think that fully came until after my salvation. So that I was baptized before as a kid, but I didn't know what I was doing. The Holy Spirit convicted me and lead me to the altar to make that decision. That happened in college. So, and in college is an interesting time too, because it's you kind of still trying to figure yourself out in regards to like, where you want to be in the world, your position in the world and all that. But yeah, so it started with me trying to identify, who I was as a person. And I kind of did that. And, I will say my journey has been it's been a roller coaster for sure. Yeah, it's been a roller coaster for sure. But I think when I was on my journey of discovering who I was, it's like I was still dealing with certain people and having these little flings, whatever, and it like kind of got me off course a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So my whole like idea of what I wanted, I didn't know, because I was just dealing with people because, whether it was just sex or I just liked the companionship or the company or whatever the case may be. So I think me just doing that while I was trying to discover who I was, I think it set me off course, bro. It really did.
Yeah, I'm curious about that though,
Yeah.
right? You had a really traditional or not so traditional college experience. I won't say traditional because you were a D1 athlete
Mm-hmm.
on two separate college campuses, one being a PWI,
Yeah.
one being a HBCU.
Yeah. Shout out to HBCUs, man.
HBCUs being a little bit probably more your type.
Oh yeah,
right.
1000%.
And then you're at an HBCU and you are an athlete, football, 6 foot plus football player, can likely have any and everything you probably want, and they likely live next door, and you're in the dorm rooms in England or whatever it is, and you can literally do whatever you want.
Yeah.
How do you go from that to now having to figure out monogamy?
Ooh, yeah, it's tough, bro. It's tough. I'll start by saying it is impossible for a man to go from, dealing with multiple shorties to just one. That is impossible.
Just cold turkey.
It's impossible. It's literally impossible. You get what I'm saying? So, and I only can speak from, my personal experience. And I also caveat with this too. Prior to my salvation, I wasn't monogamous. I was very much doing whatever I pleased, and I wasn't being convicted by anything because I wasn't really saved. And I'm just like, oh, I grew up like this. I've been doing this for how many ever years. So for me, when I got saved, I was, it was still, the options were still there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I still was like, trying to mingle and do my little thing, whatever. But when I started getting convicted, for me personally, I started like kind of just phasing stuff out. Like, all right, look, we're going to cut. If I got 4 shorties who's interested and I'm entertained, I'm going to cut off 1, right?
So now you got 3.
Now I'm going to cut off 2. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of did it in phases, right?
And
bro, I did, and I'm just going to be completely honest. I did not perfect that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was still like situations where I was like, I'm dealing with 2 people.
Like she's still kind of around.
Yeah, like whether it's a placeholder or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying?
Remember we had conversations. I feel like years ago we would have conversations we would talk about placeholders.
We was in the studio unit at Central. Yeah, I remember. Eating Chick-fil-A. I remember.
What is a placeholder?
A placeholder is...
This is so terrible.
Yeah, I know.
Let's talk about it.
It's facts, though.
We're here for the facts. Welcome to the
and,
speakeasy.
And bros out there, don't do no capping. Y'all know what placeholders are. Y'all done had some, or you might have one now. But a placeholder is somebody who is there. You enjoy their company. You enjoy hanging out with them. You enjoy the companionship, whatever it is that you have with that person. But it's somebody that you like, yo, she wouldn't be a bad look if I had to if I had to settle for that, but I'ma still be looking while she's there and enjoy whatever I like to enjoy with her. But I'ma still be out here keeping my eye open for somebody who's better suited for what it is that I want. Ooh. That's what a placeholder is.
Ooh. And that's what a placeholder is. Boy, and I'll tell you right now, you just spoke facts.
Yeah, bro.
That is a fact, and it sounds really terrible. Yeah, but if we're ever gonna get better, we have to just be honest with what sounds terrible.
Yeah.
It sounds. Wait, Marseille, you look like you got the mic. You good?
Oh, you good, Say?
Not yet.
Hey, say you fresh off a college campus. You sure you ain't got?
Oh yeah, not yet.
But I do have a question though for you. Would you agree that placeholders exist?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, Julian, would you agree that placeholders is a thing? We're not crazy.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah. So back to the conversation.
Yeah.
Now, while we're on the topic of placeholders, because honestly, women, all the beautiful women out there who are watching this, placeholders is a reality.
Yeah.
And if I had a daughter, I would hate for her to be a placeholder.
Agreed.
I have a lot of sisters that I love that I don't want them to be placeholders.
Yeah.
Although we do it, what can help a woman determine whether or not she's a placeholder?
Oh, ooh, Jesus, that's tough. I'm gonna say this first. I do not promote placeholding. All right, I don't.
You
listen.
can't do that because
Yeah, I
the
don't.
reality is, if
I did it, but I don't co-sign it now.
okay, that's fair. That's fair. However, it is very difficult
Yeah.
for a man
Mm-hmm.
who has someone
Yeah.
that they enjoy their company, think they're cute enough, and all the things, likes the sex if that's involved, and all the treatment if that's involved, and doesn't necessarily want to commit.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for a man not to accept the placehold if you're accepting the placehold.
Facts. But
Well-intentioned or not.
some dudes they don't keep it G.
Yeah.
They don't keep it like they may legit be like selling this girl like dreams. You know what I'm saying?
But I think at the same time though, and I'm a kind of person who likes to see everything from multiple perspectives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and have grace for both the man and the woman and understand all that, right? I think for a man, I think even in this conversation, they're realizing placeholders exist.
Yeah.
By just the way we explained it. Because in their mind, they might go, nah, I really like her for real. Because they do.
Yeah, you really do.
I really do like her.
Yeah.
But it's having a hard time admitting I'm probably never going to commit to this, and I am indirectly holding out till I find something better.
Yeah. And I think the number one stronghold on the man who's having this placeholder is comfort. And somebody you're comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I'm comfortable with her. Like we get each other. You know what I'm saying? We got, I don't know, 8 months to a year worth of time invested. Like, oh, like this is, you know, my shorty. And to speak to the man, because I'm a man, I can't speak to, you know, the woman, how they feel about it or whatever. But as a man, I think it's low key a lack of knowledge of like, you know, who you are, what you want, right? Because I feel like when you understand that, you're gonna like, because there's always gonna be something better. Look better or whatever the case may be, which is all subjective or whatever thing, but or whatever. But like, when you understand that, like, yo, like what I have is enough, and I am like content with it, and I'm happy with, like, you ain't gonna really need it. Like, she's not gonna be a placeholder.
Yeah.
You will fully commit to it when you understand that, like, yeah, maybe stuff out there better, but if this is your person, let that be your person and be happy with it.
This is so layered for me though.
Yeah.
I have to say it, because when it comes to this journey of discovery, which is this entire conversation is and supposed to be about, it's like there are times when men know this is not exactly what I want, but don't necessarily have the words or, you know, to describe exactly what I want. They haven't discovered it yet. And so I know I like this. I just know long term, I don't really feel like this is where I want to go. And I haven't necessarily come to terms with what I really want for real. And so I can't really communicate that to you. Yeah. And then the other piece of it is like, no, like there is a comfort level of like, I'm not going to get rejected from you. I know that. Yeah. I know that, you know, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we see each other. And I know Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to get some. It's going to be a yes. It's going to be like, there's no rejection there. And I think there's a lot of men that are afraid of rejection. Yeah. I think there's another layer of it as well when it comes to those placeholders where it's, I know you have all the wife qualities. I'm just not at the age where I value it yet.
Yeah, that's good, bro.
You may make up my little apartment a home. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You may make my campus apartment a home. You may cook. You may make me feel loved, all that stuff. But I'm just at a time in my life where I don't know how to value that yet.
Yeah. In college campuses, you hear a lot of love stories. Like, we met a freshman year in college, and it's been a love story since. But the truth of the matter is, man, when you're an athlete and you got all, like, you're on a college campus, and I'm gonna tie social media into this as well. When you got all the eyes and the viewership of social media.
Yeah.
You got a college campus with, HBCU's got some gorgeous women. Come on now.
Yes, they
Come
do.
on now.
Yes, they
You
do.
know what I mean?
Mhm.
So you got all these options. You got Instagram, all this stuff that you seeing. It's hard to be like, no, look in front of you and be like, no, that is enough. Because you always got, this shorty with a Georgia peach coming this way. And, it's just options. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that level of like, yeah, I'm not satisfied. I know it's more. And it's just like, nah, bro. Like, this is your person. You know what I'm saying? But like, to your point, it's like, bro, we in college. Like, it's all this is going on. Like, it's tough. It really is. It's tough.
But I do want to acknowledge women who are watching this right now are probably pissed off because we still haven't answered the question.
Yeah.
The question is, how does a woman know
Yeah.
she's a placeholder?
Yeah. Ooh, man.
That's a tough one.
That is a very, very hard question to answer, bro.
I think, one, you have to acknowledge the time in which you guys have been dealing with each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure. That's number one indicator.
It's like, yo, that's a okay, I could be a placeholder. We have been dealing with each other for a long time. Now, there are caveats to this, right? We're not trying to make blanket statements. Somebody can just not be ready to commit. They could just have a lot of different things going on. I always say this, and I don't like this because I don't like blanket statements, although those are the ones that go viral. The devil's in the details. You have to understand the different caveats.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that you know which caveats are excuses and which caveats are like, nah, like this person legit lives in Oregon.
Yeah.
Just
it's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
Right.
But if we're in the same vicinity and we're dating, I'm not necessarily, if he posts a lot, he don't post, like all these little things, and posting is also, I don't even get into that because whatever. But like, if all the signs of commitment are not there other than him being with you in private and then going out with you here and there, you might be a placeholder. But also acknowledge, could there be things in the relationship that, and I'm only speaking for the man. I'm not man. Women, you could hold men accountable in the comments, whatever. I'm just talking about our perspective.
Right.
When it comes to men, like, are there things in the relationship that makes him put a pause on the commitment? Are we arguing a lot? Are we always bickering?
Oh. Yeah.
Is the way you're communicating to me about all the things that you don't like, are you describing things that actually are who I am?
Mm-hmm.
Are you? Because sometimes a man will realize by what you say when you bicker to him or when you nag or argue or what have you, you realize you don't really like me.
Yeah, at all.
You like being with me.
The idea
you
of
like
me, yeah.
me beside you.
Yeah.
You don't like me. You like you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be in a relationship. You want an accessory.
Oh Lord, ooh, man.
Like you don't really like. You don't really like me. And so when a man realizes you don't really like me, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep you around because you're comfortable, but I'm gonna search for somebody who likes me.
Wow, bro, I've literally felt that like to the core. My time in college. Like, I'm like, yo, like, damn, I don't really know if you like the idea of having me on your arm, but like when we get to the details, like, I don't think you really like me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I think men who put women into the placeholder category for that, like that is something we need to bring to the light a little bit more. And it's just like, because it sometimes it's not all on the man.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And I do understand that, men, we have access to relationships and women have access to, the sex and things like that. But no, it's oftentimes where it's like, it's some situations that's going on the woman's side of the handshake that's making the man on his side of the handshake kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna chill on that. I don't really know about that too much. You know what I'm saying? But bro, I think you communicated that like beautifully, bro. We
All
got a
right,
question.
Marseille got a question.
Not even a question, but I would just say, I say my big three really when it comes down to placeholders, like time,
He got a big 3.
experience, time, experience, and what I'm willing to do.
Mm-hmm.
How much time have we spent? How much time do we continue to spend together? How much, like, our experiences, do we go out? Like, do we travel? Have we been to, like, a water park, an amusement park? Or are you just coming to see me? Like, you coming to my crib? Like, you feel me? I'm coming to your crib.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
that's a phenomenal big 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and my third one is what I'm willing to do. Like, what am I willing? Like, if your car was to break down at 2:00 in the morning, you call me. Am I pulling up? No.
Ooh.
But if you feel me, if I feel like this is something that I can see long term, you call me, you break down, I'm Johnny on the spot.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
I
Marseille.
I want to challenge your big 3. Just because this is
Okay.
a great conversation.
Yeah.
This is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because would you go on dates with a placeholder? Yes.
You would.
Absolutely.
I would take you out.
We can go bowling.
We can probably do pretty much anything.
Facts.
And I might spend a lot of time with you.
Yeah.
And spend money. Like all that stuff might be still there. This is what's really confusing about it. Because all that stuff might still be there.
Yeah.
Because it's not like being in a relationship isn't still attractive to other women.
Yeah. That's when they come out. That's when they come.
Yeah.
You be
Yeah.
like, wait a minute. What?
And oddly, and this is also really bad, but we're at the speakeasy, man.
Hey.
It's where men feel most confident about themselves when they're in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like they can pull anything.
Can't tell
They
me
can
nothing.
do anything.
Yeah.
Nothing. Oh yeah, you lucky you got because I just can get anything. You feel like you got the most game. You got the most. What they say call it Riz now.
Oh, I've
You
never
feel
used
like
that
you
word, yeah.
got all that when you're in a relationship, but when you're single, you get a little bit.
a little thirsty a little bit.
Yeah, it's not even. It's like you almost a little scared. Like, don't reject me. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're a little bit more timid when you're not in a relationship, but you realize one, you're more confident, and two, women find you even more attractive because you're taken.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some women. It's not all women, but there are some women who are attracted to what they can't have.
Yeah, which is extremely weird.
Which, even with all that said, it makes it even harder to determine whether or not you are a placeholder because he can go on dates with you, he can pay for the food, he can do all the things, and still.
Yeah, and I think every woman has they have a timeline, right? It may vary. Some women may be like, oh, 3 months, that should be enough for you to tell. It may be 6, it may be 9. You never know. And I feel like some game I'll give the ladies is like, yo, ask the questions. Like ask questions. You know what I'm saying? Because
that's good.
Another indicator for you to tell if you're a placeholder is, like Marseille said, like, all right, what is it that he's willing to do?
Yep.
And then it's like, let me ask a question and let me really, like kind of break down and digest his response to this very pointed question I'm finna ask. Because some dudes may be like, this is my this is my go-to right here.
Uh-oh.
So like, what we doing? Da da da. I just got a lot going on. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I just got a lot going on.
All this time.
School, and just but to be real though, some dudes really may be having a lot going on. But you can tell though. You know what I'm saying? Like if you with a person that much, you actually can tell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think like for women, just ask the questions and don't feel as if like you being pressed because you asking the question or you like being thirsty or whatever the case may be. Just ask the question because worst thing could be it's a question you ask somebody, but you don't ask it because you care about your ego in a way or whatever the case may be, and then y'all both end up wasting y'all time. So like, just ask the questions.
Ask the question. That's good.
Yeah.
I think it's important to ask the question because, to your point, like, not only do you want to see how the man, how he responds, but like, how's his body language? Like, is he blowing you off? Is he, oh, I just got a lot going on. Just let it be what it is. Or is it, nah, I just got a lot going on. I've been going through this. I've been dealing with this. I feel like it makes a big difference, not only what you say, but how you say it. Like Twan Flip, my homeboy, he says that all the time. It's not what you say, it's about how you say it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I 100%. I agree with you. And it's also just being really cognizant. Not even just, aware, cognizant, sure, but be honest with yourself.
Facts. Yeah.
what is this relationship healthy?
Yeah.
Do we bicker and argue a lot?
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest barriers, I think, for women is men can be typically a little bit more, we're realists a
Yeah.
lot of times. It's just like,
Black and white.
yeah, like we fight a lot. And so like I remember having a conversation recently with a guy, and he's like, bro, like, you know, she's trying to have children, but we fight a lot.
Yeah.
And she just really wants, she keeps talking about children, and she's upset that I'm not ready to start having children.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's just like, how are you this ready to have children when we don't get along?
Oh, wow. Wow.
Like,
Wow.
you want this picture perfect family,
But
and we don't get along.
Yeah.
So is what's happening in your mind different than the reality? Is the question.
Yeah.
Are you making something up about this relationship that it's really not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we're fighting all the time. There's a very, if you have a confident man, which I would hope you have a confident man.
Yeah.
If you have a confident man, he's not trying to commit to somebody he fight with all the time, because he don't have to.
At all.
He don't have to.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes a man will stay with a placeholder because the devil is better than one you don't.
Mm. Oh, Jesus.
And
Jesus.
it's the truth. Like the devil,
Yeah.
the devil is better than one you don't, right?
Yeah.
Like it's you're comfortable.
Yeah.
And typically, it's what's also interesting is like other women sometimes, because they don't have to deal with you all the time as well. So there's added layers there, but they just seem to, at least from our perspective, treat us really well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And when I was dating, and I kind of want to like transition to that a little bit of the journey of discovering what you actually need and how I actually found, and your journey to finding, it's like, what I was kind of realizing is like people sometimes will pretend to be somebody they're not in order to be what you want them to be.
Tell me about it, Anthony. Yeah.
And will try
Oh, Jesus.
will try to become who you want to be, and then you say you want, and then eventually they just become who they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as a confident man, and you start dating, you realize, there actually are women out here like who will kind of do what you want them to do.
Yeah.
But we realize over time, we got to wait a little while to figure out who you really are.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was younger, a big part of everything I would say, and if you knew me for a long time, you'd probably heard me say this, but it was just like, I want a woman who is the primary cook. Sorry, throw stones, talk about me in the comments. I don't care.
Yeah.
It was a non-negotiable for me, and I can cook.
Yeah, you can.
I can,
Yeah.
and I will. So I do sometimes still.
Yeah.
But I knew from what the vision I was trying to build, what I was trying to do, like somebody had to hold down that area, and we ain't about to spend all of our money while eating out, right?
Yeah.
A relationship, there are roles.
Yeah.
What roles you take is up to you, but this role I was locking down for my wife, okay?
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
And so I realized while dating,
Mm-hmm.
while a lot of women who were my friends were like, oh, no, like, I ain't cooking for no man unless he my man. I realized there are a lot of women who will cook.
A whole lot.
And cook a good meal.
Hey.
When I moved to North Carolina, I was like, oh, y'all can cook.
Done gained a little weight.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
like, hold on a minute. I'm going here to cook in the meal. You gonna need... I remember, like, there was a few times, it was like the first time we getting together. It's like, I cooked you something.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I take it?
Yeah. Yeah, like you literally just set the bar very high.
And
Yeah.
it's honestly, no. For me, it wasn't setting the bar high. It was like, no, this is my baseline.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
now
This is the standard.
this is the standard.
Yeah.
And so, like, for me, like I realized, there are a lot of really great women.
Yeah.
And so what, as a man, I'll say for me, while dating, I had to spend some time learning all the detailed things that I needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I had what were your expectations of me versus my expectations of you? Like the kind of, I understand what my kind of job is likely going to be.
Yeah.
I have like these big goals and big visions, etc. Right? Like, and I want I want my family to look like this. All this stuff took time though. Like it wasn't like, oh, I was 19 years old and I'm dating and I had this big vision for my life and I need a woman who fits into this category. It was a learning process. While dating, I realized, I can't deal with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought I wanted a girl just as ambitious as me. I realized I can't do it. I was dating. Can I tell you the story real quick?
Right, please.
I was dating, and I don't know if I ever told this on the speakeasy, but I was dating this woman, and it was a relationship that I was really in love with the girl, etc., whatever. And it was one time, we would always fight though. Like we just had very strong personality, two very strong alpha personalities. So it just it was bit of a ticking time bomb. But we were going back and forth. I mean, one day we got into like a fight a little bit. We were just arguing. And we were like months in a relationship, and we got accountable to this married couple, and we were like, "Oh my God, we love them. We want to be like them." And so we were arguing, and we were like, "Okay, well, let's go talk to them." So we went to the house. we sat like across. I was on your side, and she's on this side, and they're sitting on the couch, and we're like going back and forth about what she said, what he said. We're like going back and forth. When we're talking about that, like, and a lot of what we talked about was just like our futures and our expectations for each other and stuff like that we would end up in fights about, and just like, and then also just like, who you talking to, right? It would just get kind of crazy, and I'm heavy on don't talk to me crazy because I don't talk crazy, but the woman. The wife, she said, "Okay, guys, stop." She said, I have a question. She goes, say Anthony was working with you. She was talking to my girl. Say Anthony was working with you and you were working on this huge event for all of your colleagues and guests, etc. It was a huge event. A lot of people, whatever, that you were working on for months, and Anthony was working beside you, making sure everything was good, giving the input, like he was supporting you as you were putting this event together. Say this event was February 16th. And a month before February 16th, as he's working with you for months on this and supporting you, the month before February 16th, Anthony gets a call, and Anthony has to speak Anthony was asked to speak at an event on February 16th, the same night. And it was in front of thousands of people, and it's going to change his career. And this person's going to be there, this person's going to be, all these people are going to be there. Would you want him to, A, decline the engagement and attend your event that he's been working with you on, or B, go to the event? And she said, A, I'd want him to decline the speaking engagement and go and support me in my event. And I said, I'd prefer the latter.
I'll take B for 500.
and in that moment, I realized, nope.
Can't do this.
I realized, and what's so interesting, and this is the thing about women sometimes. Sometimes we get in a car and we're going back, and I'm like, it's black and white.
It's over with.
I know this is going, like, it cannot work.
Yeah.
And she's just like, whoa, that was a good conversation, wasn't it? Like, she was like, babe, I feel so much better. Like, this is a great conversation. Like, da-da-da-da. Like, so, like, let's get some ice cream. I'm like,
yeah, it's gonna get cold, all right. It's gonna get real cold.
This is over. Like, this can't happen. And of course, like, after the fact, like, it was like, we have emotions too, and when we're in love, like, we want to get back too, right?
Yeah.
I realized that moment it was over, but like, I ended up trying to like try to work it out and whatever. But in the back of my mind, that scenario, I can tell that scenario, like, I see it in my head, like, I knew it was over.
Yeah. Oof.
Which is why it's important, like you said, Dae, to ask the questions.
Yeah. Got to.
You gotta have people in your life who can ask the right questions. You gotta ask the right questions to figure out, are we forcing this to work or can it work?
Yeah.
And I realized that relationship couldn't work for me. And it was that relationship helped me understand the kind of woman that I needed.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that my woman can't have no ambition, my woman can't make no money or whatever. It's like, now there are conversations that we need to have in the beginning so that we both understand, like, this is what I'm going after. This is what I feel like is going to be best for our family. Like, I'm gonna put my work in, and I want you to trust me and see the work, see what I'm putting in. I want you to trust me, and if you trust me and you believe in me, like build this with me, and I won't disappoint you. Like, I got your back. Like I want to be that man for you, but like, I need somebody who's gonna be able to lift me up, who's gonna be able to have my back, who's gonna be able to support me. And if someone calls, you are not just wanting me to take that engagement, but I want you to, like, cheering me on. If you have your own, I'm gonna let you go to your own event. Like, right. You don't gotta be my, I don't know, my back. You're gonna come to everything. You got something going on, go to it.
Right.
But give me a nice good morning text and let me know I'm gonna kill it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna send you a good morning text and let you know you're gonna kill it.
Yeah.
But we both in that scenario realized we both want somebody to support us. We want a support system.
Yeah.
And there are men for that.
Yeah.
It ain't me.
It ain't, look, hey, bro, and that's real. And praise God for that married couple that y'all was submitted to. Because, y'all would have never came to that, like, understanding that, like, we both kind of want support systems. And, if we both want the same thing, how somebody gonna take the back seat and be that for the other person. But no, bro, like, that's amazing that you had somebody to, like, kind of direct you and, like, kind of ask those questions and kind of navigate, like, all y'all kind of, I'll say, disconnection points, if you will, because it was just, like, so many things. And but I think a lot of times in dating now, like, a lot of questions don't get asked. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of assumptions and assuming and lack of realities, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, then you kind of go on and you go with the wind, and then you kind of look and you be like, we 9 months into this, and we ain't had that conversation.
Yeah.
And that's getting on my nerves. This also getting on my nerves, and we ain't had that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Then you kind of find yourself in a situation where you like, yo, I'm pretty sure this is not going to work, but I'm still in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So praise God for that couple, man, because it's needed.
Yeah, bro.
Jesus
you got something, Julian? I see you over there.
What if you have two ambitious people, but you support each other? Like,
I mean,
that sounds really good.
It's possible.
And it is possible.
Yeah. I think, I mean, and he it was his story, but I mean, if I could add a little bit of something, I would say, I think compromise got to happen somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It may have to be, and everybody's different, so everybody is going to their situation is going to look a little different. So, like, you never know, like, if she ambitious about, she may be a lawyer.
Yeah.
I don't know, she may be a doctor. And then
a
you
little
got
too close to home, buddy.
she may be something. You know what I'm saying? And then you got your stuff going on. You know what I mean? I think if you just kind of find out, like, yo, like, how, like, find that compromise, like, how can I support you?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Challenging.
There are.
Right now.
It is. There's gonna be a drop off somewhere.
Yeah.
It gotta be.
You can have two ambitious people, and that is phenomenal. If you're okay with a nanny,
no,
100%.
facts.
if you're okay with a nanny, phenomenal.
Go for it.
Some people want one of the parents at home. Studies show that that's what's best for the child.
Yeah.
But we're in 2024 where everybody wants to be a CEO and everybody wants to be big and wants 100 million followers, and everybody wants their own thing, and there's almost a pressure to be that.
Yeah.
And on top of on top of that, I mean, the economy is not great, and in order
both
to
of y'all
afford,
gotta be making it.
so in order to afford daycare for kids, you really gotta be
Both
making
of
money,
y'all.
right? You can't someone can't make 90 grand and another make 50 grand, and you send your kids to daycare, you're gonna be broke.
Yeah.
Like your wife or whoever's making or your husband, whoever's making the 50 grand, right? They're just gonna be working to pay daycare.
And it's got to be a good daycare.
Yeah,
Can't be no.
exactly. They're only working to pay to send them to daycare, and it's just like you're gonna work at a job you don't love for that.
Yeah.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, bro. And I don't know nothing about the daycare stuff. Not yet. Though.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah.
But
take your time.
yeah, I think it's one of those situations, man, where like, you know, especially, and I'm speaking from, you know, like more of college,
Yeah.
and, you know, I'm just transitioning out of that and all that, but like, I don't think the experiences are there for them to know that, you know what I'm saying? But like, you got somebody here who's experiencing it and who understand, like, yo, like all the ambition that you may have, like that is fantastic.
Yeah.
But if it depending on who your man is and what your man is, like what he's called to do, his purpose, y'all may have to, somebody may have to redirect.
And the thing about it is, it's okay to not be with somebody that causes you to redirect.
Facts.
It's okay to date somebody or find somebody. We are playing with 700 billion people.
They out there.
Why should I reroute what I feel God's called me to do, or what I feel passionate and purpose to do, in order to accommodate what you got going on?
Yeah.
For love?
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I may love you today, but tomorrow you may get on my good nerve, my last nerve. So why on earth, like love, I may love you, but sometimes I may not feel like I love you, and I may end up resenting you because I had to pivot,
right?
And I had to change, and I had to do this in order to accommodate you. You have to figure out who that person is for you, and you trying to get somebody to change to accommodate you. They're gonna at some point, the real them, it's not a bad thing, but the real them's gonna come out.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, I wanted to be a nurse, and I stopped being a nurse because you wanted me to be, I don't know, your secretary. It's just like, bro, you should have just been a nurse, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you should have just been a nurse.
Yeah.
Like, I just probably shouldn't have married somebody who was that passionate about nursing.
Yeah, you should have just been a nurse.
It's just like be a nurse. We need to have the conversation to figure out, does nursing go with what I'm trying to, like, does it?
It's just an honest question.
Because I don't want you to change. I don't want that. I don't want you to change.
Yeah, and a lot of things that a lot of times what I see right now and today is people over spiritualize the relationship part rather than like the calling, the purpose. Because truth of the matter is, dating really comes down to compatibility. Like, are we compatible? We don't have to over spiritualize it. We don't have to. God told me. No.
Listen.
Let's leave.
I'm like, if someone says God told me you were, I'll stop you at mine. God told me you were mine.
He ain't tell me that.
He ain't tell me that. He ain't tell me that. He sure ain't the author of confusion, and I'm confused.
And I'm very confused. I'm lost. GPS me, please.
Please.
Yeah. So, but no, and I think like people gotta stop thinking like everything got to be, you know, so ordained by God and just so like spiritualized. It's like, bro, do it make sense? Yes or no?
He was so in his word.
Yeah.
He was so enveloped in the Lord that when he looked up, he saw me. It was just like, bye.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like he was so in the word. He was so like, it's just like, I mean, yeah, but no.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But no, bro, like it's this is a very practical thing, relationships.
And I'm glad you said that too, because I've had, you know, people I've tried dating or whatever the case may be, and first people gotta understand that it's okay if things just don't work out.
Yeah,
that's completely fine.
Oh my God, can you say that again?
It is okay if things do not work out.
You didn't lose.
Okay. Yeah, you didn't lose.
You didn't fail.
It wasn't a waste of time.
Oh my God.
I mean, because I feel like, you know, from my past experiences, I would hear oh, like we wasted my time and I let you in. Or I'm like, wait, ho. If we are trying to date one another, how am I gonna get to know you if you never open up? So what do you so now that it don't work out, what do you mean that you opened up to me and now it's like that's a part of dating. You gotta like, you know what I'm saying? And I just think it's just a lot of like, it's truth. And I heard Pastor Andy say this last week. He say like, we so worried about the tone rather than the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, let the truth be the truth.
Let the truth be the truth.
Like, don't worry about the tone. Don't worry about anything else. Like, yo, this is the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, bro, it's very like frustrating, man.
Yeah. And so tell me, how has it been for you as a single man figuring out what you want?
Right.
What was that journey like for you?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, for me, man, it was a heck of a journey for sure, bro.
Do you feel like you're already there? Do you feel like you know exactly what you want now?
I'm close.
Oh,
I'm very close.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, I'm very close. And I think it just come down to for me, it came down to like having people like you in my life. You know, people with wisdom, people that that's already married. Because I think a lot of people kind of like they don't think there's any importance in like being around people who's already like successfully married, happily married, and all this stuff. But you know, I had people like you and others in my life who I seen and I would just learn stuff from, and I like kind of would, you know, through my, you know, dating stages, I would like kind of be like, yeah, okay, I could deal with that. I kind of can't deal with that. I want this, I want that. But for me, yeah, I mean, it's like, it's pretty simple. I try to simplify it.
Yeah.
It's like, are you sweet? Like, are you sweet for real? Are you saved?
Okay. Sweet, saved.
Yeah, are you smart?
You smart?
You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, shoot, are you skilled in anything? You dig what I'm saying? And then it's just like, you know, then all the other stuff comes. You know what I'm saying? But like for me, I found out that sweetness was something that I could do because I've dealt with women and I was just like, yeah, this like attitude or like this coldness and this like,
it's a no-go for me.
It's like, yeah, I really don't like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's okay. Some people can.
Yeah, some people
like it. Some people find it a little sexy. Some people, hey, I'm telling you, if you got a little bit of toot out there, woman of God, or young lady,
listen.
Hey, there's somebody out there who likes to deal with that a little bit.
Listen, that mean girl stuff ain't it. That's how I feel about it.
Hey,
but
I ain't even judging you.
Yeah, bro.
I understand you've been hurt.
Yeah.
You got a little chip on your shoulder. You got a little bit of toot. Okay, cool. Just not me.
Yeah, and back to the point. And it's okay.
That's all right.
It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, like for me, man, dating is I'm close, bro.
Ever try to make an attitude somebody sweet?
Have I ever done it?
Yeah. Have you ever got a little attitude person and you're like, oh no, she's gonna be sweet to me? There's a little bit of the challenge that I think some men like doing. They like,
yeah, they do. I don't.
When I was younger, it was like, okay, yeah, she got a little bit of two. It was just like,
I'm
gonna fix her a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, no, like, I'm done. I'm not doing that. But it took me. I think I was about 22 or something before I like decided, yeah, that ain't gonna be it.
Yeah, and a hard truth that I'll share is like, I'm not a phase in my life where I'm looking for a project. I'm really not. I'm really not. So if it's like anything like that, it's just like, yeah, I don't care to like, because that's just like baseline. It's just like that's within you, that's ingrained in you. Like that's the stuff that's gonna come to the forefront like as time go on. You know what I'm saying? And something I hear you say a lot is like, yo, dating is the best it's ever gonna be.
Oh,
like point blank period.
People are probably gonna be like, what? Dating's the best? Nah, nope.
Yep. He said what he said.
Dating, and I am happily married. I love my wife. We have a great time.
Yeah.
Right? But dating for us was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Right? Dating for us was like, there was no kids. There was no kind of there was no married issues. We didn't live together. It was just like, and we would have I mean, oh my God, it was a good time. We dated all the time. Like, it was just a blast. Me and my girlfriend didn't argue. I was also at a stage where I was about to argue with nobody.
Yeah. And then like if something happened, like, I'm gonna go to the crib.
Oh yeah, I can dip.
Yeah.
But it did it like she and I didn't really argue. She wasn't really. I'm not a person who argues.
Right.
I don't even yell. I don't raise my I talk passionately when I'm like having conversations like this. But even with my girl, like I never was like I'm not a rah kind of person.
Yeah.
And so it was just like we just had a good time. We had fun. Like it was great. And when you add the complexity of marriage and living together, it gets a little harder.
Yeah, absolutely.
You left your drawers out again, right? You left the towel. There's water on the ground from your shower. That you didn't take out the trash. Yeah, right. I'm saying all the stuff she said about me. I ain't gonna say nothing about her. But like there are added complexities there.
Yeah.
That bring it down some.
Yeah.
Didn't have a child. Stop playing.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, and
she ain't getting no sleep.
It's a lot.
Like it's like the hormones, it's just all this added complexities, different parenting styles, and who's going where for Christmas and Thanksgiving. There's a lot that, yeah, of course it's supposed to get more and more difficult.
Yeah.
So if it's difficult while you're dating, why the hell would you marry her or him?
Yeah.
Why the hell would you do that?
Listen,
I'm here to tell you with complete confidence that if it sucks now, it's gonna suck later.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
Can I say it again? If it sucks now, it's gonna suck later. It's gonna be worse later.
Yeah. Hey, that is like stupidity personified.
Absolutely.
It's lunacy.
Absolutely.
It really is.
If she tell you to shut up now, she's telling you to shut the F up later.
And back to the whole
moving on.
The whole topic of like compromising. It's like, bro, now you got a reason to really you have a reason to compromise.
Yeah.
And we both gonna be the passion ain't gonna go nowhere. So the compromise gotta happen, and we're both passionate about it. So it's like, bro, that's hard. That is extremely hard. And I'm just even thinking about like, the example you just gave, like, yo, where we going for Thanksgiving? Wait, your aunt can't cook. Why are we going over there? You know what I mean? Or I wanted to have my grandma apple pie this year. You know what I mean? You never know. It's a lot of different things. And it's just like, yeah, you married and y'all have to figure that out. And somebody got to be like, you know what? I'm going to take the back seat on this one.
Yeah. Like, is the person you're with agreeable, rational, kind?
Ooh.
I was looking at a video, I think it was on TikTok or something, where they asked this like couple, they were like in their 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like they've been married forever since they were like young. And they were like, what's the secret? They always like to ask old married couples, what's the secret? And they said, be kind to each other.
Take you a long way.
I said, that shook me up. And it is the most simple advice. You know what Kira and I do now? Like we will, if we get into what almost seems like someone might have a little bit of attitude, it's like, be kind.
Yeah.
It's
a
like,
reminder. Be
kind. I'm trying to, and then we'll even stop myself. I'm trying to be kind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be kind. It's just like in your mind, it's a little bit like what you really want to say. But regardless, but we don't even go there because words have power.
Yeah, bro.
You gotta be careful about what you allow somebody to say to you and what someone feels is okay to say to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was most recently, who was it? I think it was who was it who said you can't tell a woman about like personal things about yourself because you'll throw it back in your face.
Shaq.
Now, my wife now won't do that. There are definitely women. I remember I told a woman one time, I'd made some mistakes when I was in my early 20s. You know what I'm saying? With money and everything. My credit was jacked.
Yeah.
My credit was jacked. And I remember telling her, like, it was a deep conversation for me. I was just like, I was gonna let you know, because she was talking about home ownership and all that. She's gonna buy a house and da-da-da. And I was just like, I just wanna let you know, like, we may have to, like, if we we went the long distance, we got married, whatever. Like, we may have to put the house in your name for now until I get my credit together, whatever. And she was just like, oh, okay, yeah, like my credit's good, like da. Like, cool. And we got in an argument one time. You think you're perfect, but your credit is a mess. Your credit is literally like, and I was just like, she went in, and I'm like, I ain't gonna flex on you. And this is on the phone, and she's like going in about my credit and how I think I'm all that, and I'm always right, but you can't even get your credit right. Like going in. And I was like, oh shoot.
Okay, Mr. 580.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, who's she talking to?
Hey,
I know she did just say that.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
but
I'm with you.
Yeah, but I bought a house before her, so.
Nah, hey, look, come on now.
Moving on.
You see, won't God turn it around?
Yeah, won't he do it? Won't he do it? I said, oh my God, you're still in an apartment. Okay. All right, moving on.
Yeah. Shout out to the apartments, though.
What for you has been the hardest part about dating? With the women you specifically dated?
Yeah, bro. I think, man, what was always hard to me was like kind of navigating and trying to decipher like what was a facade and what was really real.
Yeah.
Because, kind of how you alluded to like earlier, it was like when I was in college, I don't want to like using the word popular, but I was well known on campus.
No, you were that guy.
Yeah.
I was there.
I was that guy. Okay.
I was around.
Cool. But I was the guy. And one thing that I've always heard from like, my best friend moms and like women in my life was like, son, don't ever go for the low hanging fruit. So, and what they meant by that was like people that just kind of just throw themselves at you and like try to do little stuff to position themselves to, get you to pay attention to them, whatever the case may be. So I found myself in a lot of situations where like I was kept asking myself like, yo, are you going for the low hanging fruit right now with this? Because a lot of women would like kind of the idea of me, the idea of having the football team, the captain of the football team, the guy who's leading the college ministry, the 4.0 guy, like, you know what I mean? It was like,
all the things.
You
had you had everything on the list.
Yeah, so it was like, I want that. You know what I'm saying? So like it was oftentimes where a lot of women would like kind of come at me with these I don't know, just these strange ways of like showing that they're interested. Mm-hmm. Whether it was like sex, whether it was just like overly like, I can bring you food. I'm like, don't you live in like Chapel Hill? I'm in Raleigh.
Yeah,
that's 45. It's 5:30 in this traffic. What do you
take the food?
No, I definitely took the food sometime. Brother gotta eat.
Yeah.
But no, and it was just like so that was kind of tough. You know what I mean? That was like my biggest obstacle, man. And it was just like it was some women who was great. Like they was doing all of them was great, but like I wasn't perfect. You know what I'm saying? I fumbled a lot of women. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But the things that was difficult was definitely like trying to just decipher like, yo, is this really like long term can they hold this up? And most of the time it was like, nah. It was like, I'm gonna do it, get my foot in the door, you know what I mean? And then there was a lot of stuff that I just kind of didn't see anymore. I'm like, damn, I thought you was a sweetheart. I thought you liked to cook. I thought you don't mind folding clothes. You know what I'm saying? And shoot, I was busy. You know what I mean? So like all that stuff that they were doing was helping me out. So it was just like, all right, cool. But then when I kind of seen that like over time, it was like she only started doing that so she could get in the door. But now she's in the door. She kind of like, yeah, bro, I ain't finna fold them clothes. Stop at Bojangles and get some food. You know what I'm saying?
You got a lot of work to do looking around.
Yeah,
like,
and it's just like,
you were just helping out. Like,
you get what I'm saying? So it's just like, I mean, just to put it in the simplest terms, it's like, just won't like being who they said they were. They said they was. Yeah. That's really it. But
where are we on time, guys? We good? Hour 15. I got a few more things to talk about.
Okay.
I know for me, like I had to kind of learn trust in order to really start taking relationships seriously. I think that's a big hurdle for a lot of guys. I remember even, talking to, some of the guys, my guys over here behind the board, right? Like around trust. And has there ever been a time where your trust was broken and you had to rebuild it?
Yeah, it was. 2019, man, which was a phenomenal year for me, bro.
Oh, yeah.
It was an incredible year.
I was there that year.
Yeah. Look, hey, I took a year off social media. I got baptized, and yeah, bro, it was so I was dealing with a young lady.
Okay.
And I remember I broke my ankle at the time, and she was like been a good helper. She was like helping me and all this stuff, and everything was cool.
They'll
Everything
do
was
that,
good.
won't they?
Huh?
So they'll do that, won't
Oh
they?
yeah, they would. They will. They will. And yeah, and everything was going on. Everything was going on with that. Everything was cool. And then like I just felt, I was very vulnerable at the time. And I remember I was kind of staying with her or whatever. I just started seeing little stuff on her phone. I don't go through phones, but like it was just kind of like,
It was right there. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
like, oh,
The
word.
scroll. Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lot going on, and to not to get all in the detail of it. I mean, because there was a lot that happened, but seeing stuff on the phone, and I was just kind of like, just kind of like, okay, word. Hollered at her about it. She was like, oh, it ain't that, whatever. So I'm like, cool, bet. Then somebody, a mutual friend of both of ours, seen me on campus, and it was like, hey man, are you okay? Like, kind of sucks that everything was happening with the relationship. And I'm like, what? What's happening with the relationship? I don't know what you talking about. And this person in particular just kind of dropped the bomb on me, man. They just kind of told me like what was going on, like sleeping with other people, all this stuff. And I'm like, dang. And I was like, and it was football, it was fall camp too.
Like sleeping as in having sex with other men.
Yeah. She was getting body slammed to the mattress. That's what I like to say to be funny, but that was going on, and I was like, and I remember it was fall camp, and at the time, like, bro, when I said I was going through a lot, bro, like, I needed a place to stay. I ain't had no whip. I had like $2,000 in savings. That's all I had. I was broke. I was recovering.
Somebody's listening, like, oh my God.
Man, but
that's a good floor.
But no, it's
if
a
that's
good
your
floor.
Praise God.
But peep though, that's not a lot when you try to get an apartment, because they're gonna be like, deposit and
Yeah.
So that was going on. Like I was coming off of a broken ankle. It was just a lot, and I found like her this person told all this stuff to me, man. And I found out, and I remember, man, it wasn't really like. It didn't break my heart or anything, but like when she told me, I was like so calm. And I remember she was like, "You are so calm to be hearing all this." I was like, "Yeah, I just kind of been checked out. That's it."
Wow.
I said, just been checked out, and I appreciate you telling me this, but I mean, yeah, but I ain't really tripping. And I will admit, like, I wasn't fazed by it because I was like, oh yeah, I checked out already, and I knew this was going to be kind of like you, like, yeah, I knew this wasn't going to work. And so I kind of came to terms with everything, like when I had that, when I came to that realization. So it didn't really like break my heart or nothing but like that, but I do recall like afterwards my trust was just toe up.
I hear somebody literally who's watching this video going, is that why? That's probably why she cheated, because you were checked out.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, from knowing what happened, did it all happen in the time when you were checked out, or do you feel like she's probably been doing it for?
Oh no, from the information I received, it was like a prolonged
period of time.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, so she was out here wilding.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna like I'm gonna keep it real G too. Like it was times where I could have been a little like spaced out or whatever the case may be, because like I had surgery when I broke my ankle, and like I used to be on like oxys and all, so it'd be like I wasn't all the way there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then like if I wasn't like on meds, whatever, like I was in pain, so I was kind of like being a little grumpy, but like. That ain't grounds for you to be like, well, let me go.
I just wanted to bring that full circle.
No, facts.
Because I know somebody's gonna be like, well, that's his fault.
Yeah.
Like, he was stretched out, he was checked out anyway. She probably felt that, and that's why she goes search for somebody else. You know how they do.
And to be clear, God. like I checked out like when I seen the phone stuff, and I was like, oh, bet, say no more.
Yeah.
And if you ever hear me say no more, I literally mean say no more. Like, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, that situation, like, kind of shook my trust a little bit, and like little shorties out there to try to come holler, and I'm looking at them like, is your name really Nicole? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just kind of on edge, but yeah.
Now, was that was kind of the last time something like that happened for you, and then you were able to rebuild from there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because, and as I grew and got more mature in my faith too, I kind of just like,
Not everybody's like that.
Yeah, not everybody like that, man. Like use discernment, like all the things. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and it got like better.
In
My trust got
retrospect,
better.
were there signs?
Yeah, because she was a placeholder at first.
Ooh, come on.
She was a placeholder at
Let's
first.
bring it first. You brought that full circle,
Yeah,
Dae.
I did.
You brought that full circle, Dae.
I did.
Uh-huh.
She was a placeholder at 1st
Mhm.
and I actually gave reasons that because she was actually a young lady who asked the question. So what and I like gave her very honest feedback. It's like, yeah, like you kind of party too much. You know, your friend group not really sure.
Mm-hmm.
The friend group was open about what the things they was doing. So I'm like, and you with them all the time, and yeah, like, and I kind of just told her, I was just like, yeah, like, so if anything is gonna like progress, you have to, like, you know, not do these things anymore. And she like, actually, I seen like a transition a little bit, but it didn't last long. Obviously,
Yeah.
as we you know hear and see from the story, but yeah, bro, yeah,
Wow. But because and what I love about kind of this conversation as well, it's like, and why I kind of wanted to go here a little bit is I think we sometimes make a ton of excuses as to, you know, why we're not taking relationships seriously, the broken trust, or, you know, the upbringing, or, you know, what have you, or not understanding where you want to go, and all the things. And I think all that's really important when choosing who you want to be with. But like in terms of even like this trust conversation here, right? Like, I think you building your relationship with God and like really healing helped you be able to see the best in others and give you the ability to not see every woman from the lens of your brokenness, or your lens of your broken trust, or the lens of some thought you was with. Not saying it's your thought now. God bless you. I don't even know who you are, but I hope you're healed, and I hope you're better. I hope you ain't doing what you used to do.
yeah.
But I think it's just really, really, really important because it's a journey.
It is, yeah,
It's a journey of figuring it out.
yeah,
Like, it's a journey of figuring yourself out. And brothers, be honest about what you need.
yeah, bro,
Have an idea about where you're going,
yeah,
and know, and then figure out who needs to go with you.
yeah,
Right? There is a kind of person that is going to be best suited for where you're going.
yeah.
Don't try to fit nobody else in that space who can't fit. Only use the exact puzzle piece necessary to build the picture of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, boy. Oof. Jesus.
Problem is we keep trying to put people in places they don't belong. And
Jesus.
anyway, I think this is a phenomenal conversation, Dae.
Agreed, bro.
I just feel like this is like,
Yeah.
we're going to have to keep doing this.
I am here and I am like, I'm down with it, bro.
All right, we're going to have
Yeah.
more conversations.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, I love y'all. Thank y'all for coming to the Speakeasy
Sir.
and having this relationship conversation with us. This is
Yeah.
the first relationship conversation I'm having outside of with my wife, and I'm telling our story. Like,
Yeah.
this is great.
Hey, it was phenomenal, bro. And
Bro.
I'm glad it was me.
Yes.
I'm glad it was
my
me.
man. 50. Yeah. Love y'all. Listen, like, subscribe, comment, all the things. If you heard anything you like, let us know. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sitting with us. We love y'all. See you next time.
Peace.